Picture a world on the brink of transformation. The year is 1914. Europe, a continent steeped in culture and history, was a simmering pot of political tensions. The air was thick with the weight of nationalism, as countries sought to assert their power and dominance. The race for colonial possessions stirred the pot of imperialism, creating rivalries that threatened to spill over. Militarism was on the rise, with nations building up their armed forces in a show of strength and intimidation. But the most dangerous element was perhaps the intricate web of alliances. Friendships were forged, not out of trust or mutual respect, but out of fear and the need for protection. And in this volatile mix, a spark was needed to ignite the powder keg. That spark came in the form of a bullet that ended the life of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary. And so, with the death of a single man, the stage was set for the Great War. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, marking the beginning of World War I. Such a declaration set off a domino effect, igniting the powder keg of Europe due to the intricate web of alliances. Germany, allied with Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia and France. The United Kingdom, bound by treaty to protect Belgium, declared war on Germany. The stage was set, the players were ready, and the world was plunged into the first global conflict of its kind. The early stages of the war saw key battles that would shape its course. The Battle of the Frontiers, a series of engagements along the eastern border of France and in southern Belgium, was a significant event in the early phase. This battle was quickly followed by the First Battle of the Marne, a pivotal confrontation that thwarted Germany's initial plan for a swift victory. The war had begun in earnest, with neither side expecting the horrors that were to come. The war settled into a grim routine of trench warfare, with millions of soldiers living in appalling conditions. Picture a world of mud, rats, and barbed wire, where soldiers huddled in narrow, zigzagging trenches cut deep into the earth. These trenches, stretching from the Swiss border to the North Sea, were home to soldiers for months, even years at a time. The concept of trench warfare, although grueling and inhumane, was born out of necessity, as it offered the only viable form of protection against the devastating firepower of modern weaponry. Now let's turn our attention to the key battles that defined this era. Among them, the Battle of Verdun stands out. Lasting for almost 10 months, it was one of the longest, most brutal conflicts, symbolizing the determination and endurance of the French army. Next, we have the Battle of the Somme. This was intended to be a decisive blow to the Germans, but turned into one of the bloodiest battles in human history, with over 1 million casualties. Finally, the Battle of Passchendaele, a gruesome testament to the futility of war, where the battlefield was a quagmire, and gains were measured in yards, not miles. The war was taking a heavy toll on both sides with no end in sight. In 1918, after years of bloody conflict, the tide of the war began to turn. The war's final battles were fierce, marked by desperate struggle and bitter resistance. Concurrently, the entry of the United States into the fray added fresh vigor to the Allies' push. Ultimately, Germany, beleaguered and weary, had little choice but to seek an armistice. The world held its breath, and then on a chilly November morning, it happened. On November 11, 1918, the guns finally fell silent. World War I was a catastrophic event that reshaped the world. Let's delve into the aftermath of this colossal conflict. The Treaty of Versailles put an end to the war, but it also sowed the seeds for future discord. It imposed heavy reparations on Germany, fueling resentment that would later ignite the flames of World War II. In the wake of the war, the world map was redrawn. The collapse of empires led to the rise of new nations, with borders defined and redefined, shaping the geopolitical landscape we recognize today. Beyond the political consequences, the societal fabric was altered significantly. The war accelerated technological innovation, leading to the widespread use of aircraft, tanks, and submarines. It also brought about social change, with women stepping into roles traditionally held by men, setting the stage for the women's rights movement. World War I, the Great War, left a lasting legacy that is still felt today.